The strangest thing about Daniel wasn't that he could make people like him. It was that after years of doing it, he forgot who he really was. One day, someone asked him a simple question, "What do you want?" And he couldn't answer. Not because he was shy or confused, but because he genuinely didn't know. Daniel was the kind of person everyone loved. Teachers called him respectful. Friends called him loyal. His girlfriend called him understanding. His parents called him obedient. His boss called him dependable. Everyone had a different version of Daniel in their head. And somehow, he became every single one of them. When his father wanted a serious son, Daniel became serious. When his friends wanted someone funny, Daniel became funny. When his girlfriend wanted a romantic man, Daniel became romantic. When his boss wanted someone who never complained, Daniel never complained. It wasn't something he planned. He just learned very early that being what people wanted made life easier. People smiled more. People praised him. People stayed. So he adapted. Again, and again, and again. The habit started when he was a child. Daniel loved drawing. Every afternoon, he would sit on the floor and fill notebooks with strange creatures, cities, and superheroes. One evening, he ran to show his father a sketch he had spent hours making. His father barely looked at it. Then he said, "Drawing won't feed you. Focus on something useful." Daniel nodded. The next day, he spent more time studying than drawing. When his father praised him for it, something clicked inside him. The approval felt good, better than drawing. So he started chasing approval instead. As he grew older, the changes became automatic. He mirrored whoever stood in front of him. Nobody noticed. Most people thought he was simply easy to get along with. But Daniel knew the truth. Every version felt slightly fake. Yet he kept doing it. Because every time he showed his real opinion, there was risk. Someone might disagree. Someone might leave. Someone might be disappointed. He couldn't afford to tell someone a no, and Daniel hated disappointing people. By 28, his life looked successful. Good job, good relationship, good reputation. From the outside, everything seemed perfect. Inside, something felt wrong. Whenever he was alone, he felt empty. Not sad, not depressed. Just strangely blank, like a room after all the furniture had been removed. He started avoiding quiet moments. He kept music playing, podcasts running, television on, anything to avoid being alone with his thoughts. Because when silence arrived, an uncomfortable question followed. Who am I when nobody is watching? The question became impossible to ignore. During a company retreat, the employees were divided into groups and given random exercises. One activity involved introducing themselves without mentioning their job, family, achievements, or relationships. Just themselves. Daniel laughed when he heard the instructions. It sounded easy. Then his turn came. He opened his mouth. Nothing came out. The room waited. His heart started racing. He realized every description he had prepared depended on someone else. But who was he without those labels? For the first time in years, he didn't know. That night, he couldn't sleep. The question followed him home. It stared at him from the bathroom mirror. Who are you? Not who people think you are. Not who they want you to be. Who are you? The more he searched, the less he found. He couldn't even remember the last decision he made purely for himself. Every choice seemed influenced by someone else's expectations. His clothes, his hobbies, his career, even his opinions. Everything felt borrowed. A few weeks later, something happened that changed everything. His girlfriend asked where he wanted to eat dinner. A normal question. A simple question. But Daniel gave his usual answer. Anywhere is fine. She sighed. Then she said something he would never forget. Do you ever have your own opinion? The words hit harder than any insult. Because she wasn't trying to hurt him. She was being honest. And she was right. That night, Daniel sat alone for hours. Pieces of himself buried under years of people-pleasing. For the first time, he felt grief. Not for someone who died, but for the person he could have become. One day, while cleaning his room, he found an old notebook. Inside were drawings from when he was a child. Pages and pages of them. He sat down and looked at them for a long time. Then he smiled. Because for the first time in years, he remembered that boy. The boy before he started changing for everybody. The boy who knew what he liked. The boy who didn't need permission to be himself. Months later, Daniel bought a sketchbook. The first page remained blank for almost an hour. His hands trembled. Not because he had forgotten how to draw, but because this was the first thing he was doing entirely for himself. No audience, no approval, no rigor, just joy, pure and simple, the kind he hadn't felt in years. Change didn't happen overnight. It started small. When friends suggested a movie he didn't want to watch, he said so. When coworkers pushed extra work onto him, he declined. When someone asked for his opinion, he gave a real answer. At first, it felt terrifying. People disagreed. Some became annoyed. Some were surprised. A few even pulled away. But something unexpected happened. He survived. The world didn't collapse. The people who truly cared about him stayed. One evening, a coworker asked him a question. "You've changed. What happened?" Daniel smiled. Then he gave an answer he never could have given before. "I got tired of being everyone else's version of me." The coworker laughed. But Daniel wasn't joking, because he finally understood something. People-pleasing feels safe, until you realize the person you're sacrificing is yourself. So if you're watching this and you see yourself in Daniel, I want you to remember something. You do not have to earn your right to exist. You do not have to become smaller so other people can feel comfortable. You do not have to spend your whole life becoming what everyone else wants. Because one day, when everyone goes home, you will still have to live with yourself. And that person deserves to be known too. Not the version people expect. Not the version people need. The real you. The one that has been waiting patiently all these years to come back home. Learn to start being you.